Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. It's me, Professor Hostler, here with...
No, that's not a running gag.
Come on.
Vetoed.
You guys are... I told Marianne to call me Professor Hostler, and she said, I refuse to let you have the ego boost. Yeah, so if you listened to the podcast last week, I went in... Not only did I give a talk to a college class, I then went back and had another meeting with them because they want this expertise of this person. That's me,
we had show
Professor
notes
Hostler.
that scheduled you not talking about this.
But here's the thing. One of the things I did in the class is I explained how people would make money on the internet in esports. So I had to kind of like explain streaming, etc. But I also explained this service where even a purveyor of a moderately successful podcast like myself could get people to give them as little as 20 or 25 cents a week, and you could fund positions with that. Like Thumbnail Guy.
Like missionary or?
Like Thumbnail Guy.
We need a missionary to go from LGS to LGS, spreading the good word about Brainstorm Brewery. If you would like to apply for a missionary position, go to patreon.com/brainstorm brewery. Give us $1 a month, which is as little as 20 or 25 cents an episode. Go to our Discord, which you will have access to, and say, I'm here for the missionary position.
One of the professors, when I was there and I was talking to him, hey, I want to be involved. Anything I can do to help you all out, let me know, et cetera, et cetera. They were like, okay, well, yeah, same. If you ever need anything, if you ever need any of our students. And I was like, well, actually, we have an internship program. It's filled at the moment, but I'll let you know, come the fall or something, we may have an opening in our internship program.
I would love for someone to get college credit in exchange for doing unpaid work for this podcast. That is why I started a podcast.
Oh, we pay them. Come on. What? We paid the intern like $100, right?
Hey, you called me a boomer. If I'm a boomer, I'm not paying an intern.
Okay, fair. You know what? That's a fair counterpoint.
Yeah.
Speaking of boomers, coronavirus still a thing. France has now banned gatherings of 1,000 or more people. Everything's over. Hope you never wanted to play Magic again.
Which is too bad because that means in France and Italy and all those European countries where they have no gatherings, you can't have soccer matches.
That's true.
It's called football.
You can't have football matches.
I mean, yeah, they call it football, and you know what, soccer. Okay, so when a British person specifically makes fun of us for saying soccer, that's dumb because British people invented soccer, and you know what it's short for? Association football.
No, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, the SOCC and association.
Uh-huh. And the CER from football?
No, it's like you shorten. It's like someone's name's James, you call him Jammer or whatever. English people are weird. So yeah, they call it association football soccer.
That's
and we're fine, we'll call it soccer too. And they're like, stupid Yanks called it soccer, but they still use the imperial system based on the measurement of king's arms in it. And it's like, you invented that. Why are you making fun of us? They're like, we stopped. So I think everything that Britain does was just a prank on the colonies, right? Like, but we can make the Americans sell bottles of water. Then it worked.
I have a strong suspicion that some or all of what you just said is fake news, but I honestly can't tell you that you're wrong, Jason. So you know what? That story sounds true to me.
Yep, and that's another thing we got from Britain. We got Rupert Murdoch changing the way we consume media.
We're going to make all of our foods terrible just to prank the tourists when they come here.
He ate the mushy peas. I can't believe he ate the mushy peas. We put those out for American tourists as a joke.
Baked beans for breakfast? There's nothing more trolly than that.
We've been eating food out of newspapers for 200 years just to say, got 'em!
Look, here's the secret. Inside the NHS, they have the good British food.
That's
You'd never know as a stupid American who loves their healthcare system. But over there, the cafeterias inside the NHS hospitals are probably incredible.
out of the 10 worst pizzas I've ever had in my life, 10 of those 10 were in England. Like, I realized that Americans were all fat, but English people are all fat too, and their food sucks. I don't know how they do it. Like, at least Americans have an excuse for being fat because our food is delicious. Even British American fast food tastes bad somehow. Like, their McDonald's tastes like shit. I don't know how they do it.
That's not true, dude. Come on. I'm going to call on that one, man. When I was in London, I went to McDonald's and did a literal double. Of course I did. Sure, it was next to the train station. It was like late one night. And I did like a literal double take when I tasted it because the meat tasted like meat.
Because you were very hungry because you had been traveling.
No, like I was there for like a week and a half, and I was just like in the middle of the trip. We got McDonald's. We got off the train and grabbed McDonald's on the way back, and it tasted good.
All right, man, you did it. I don't believe you.
Maybe in the boomer days, the McDonald's wasn't as good. Maybe the EU was invented and put in stricter restrictions on the meat, and you just haven't been back since.
I did live in England pre-Mad Cow, so it's possible that they were like, we feed these cows sheep brains. They don't taste great. And then they're like, we can't do that anymore.
Mad Cow, the coronavirus of what was that, 1983?
The original Boomer Doomer, yeah.
Yeah, the original Boomer Doomer.
Back in my Boomer days in 1998, we didn't know you couldn't feed an entire sheep to a cow, like some sort of turducken.
No one even knows even remembers what Mad Cow was, man, and I barely do.
Bovine spongiform encephalopathy.
What?
It's a prion disease.
Is that a Harry Potter spell? What the?
It's bovine spongiform encephalopathy, not a lopathy.
Yeah, DJ. Got him.
You just got Grangered, motherfucker.
You know what, Jason? I'll give it to you. Using Hermione Granger's last name as a verb kind of works.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a prion disease, and they don't really know what prions are that much. They just know that it eats holes in your brain.
Diseased.
Like every once in a while, you find a Reddit thread about prions, then you can't sleep at night.
Yeah, it's like, well, we don't really know what they are, so they're unstoppable.
They'll turn your brain to applesauce, and you can't kill them.
Also, cows are involved somehow.
You know who knew? Creutzfeldt Jakob, but he's dead now. I'm sure Creutzfeldt Jakob is two people. I don't know. I just know that.
No one even knows what you're talking about.
That's a prion thing. I watched House.
Did they discover the... Oh, okay. I actually watched a little bit of that show. All right. Anyways, back to the whole thing that brought this tangent up. We're going to talk European soccer players here. And I will note this about Corona. I believe that something is happening in Europe, or at least something that's happening somewhere in the world, because I did read about it, is that they're forcing teams to play soccer matches with nobody in attendance.
And
that's because they don't want to cancel the whole season, or I guess whatever. I don't really know. I just saw a thing that they're making them play to empty stadiums.
Well, that's fine. It's kind of like a boring Dothraki wedding, though. Like a British soccer match with no murder is kind of considered a dull affair.
So what we talked about a couple weeks ago on the podcast is that we didn't know anything about magic artists. I think I'm the person who brought this up because I don't know anything about magic artists. But one of our patrons who joined our Discord, shout out to Inkdrop the Ooze, went to patreon.com/brainstormbrewery, became a $1 patron at a minimum, joined the Discord, and gave us a list of European soccer players versus magic artists. So before we get to everything else here, we're going to talk about the bands. We're going to do pick of the week, breaking bulk, all that good stuff. But first, we're going to do European soccer players versus magic artists.
For anyone interested in this game, this is a sequel to the original game that we played called, what was it, Coheed and Cambria, or Arch Enemy Scheme?
Yeah.
Somebody go dig through the archives and find that, because that was a good episode.
There's also the game that I think we deemed too outrageous to even put on After Hours.
The game that cannot be named, yeah.
Yeah, people asked us about that game at the party, and we didn't even tell people what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, so we can't even name that game.
The game that cannot be named.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Hang out in Discord. Maybe I'll.
We'll tell you what it was on our last episode when we burned this podcast to the ground.
Well, the name of the game is fine.
No, it's not.
It's just when you actually play the game.
When you play the game for more than 60 seconds.
It's when you play the game that it becomes problematic.
And it goes where it was always going to go.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sure that was a lot of fun for people who don't know what we're talking about, but hang out in Discord. All right, let's get right to this. I haven't looked at this list before right now.
I skimmed it and Lionel Messi was on there.
That's the only one I recognize, though, as a soccer player.
Yeah, who's the fourth most famous soccer player in the world ever? There's Pele, there's Ronaldo, there's David Beckham, and then there's Lionel Messi.
No, there's that kid.
That's the thing. If you guys hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have got that one.
Okay.
You guys spoiled that one for me because I don't know any European soccer players. So if you hadn't said look at this guy, he's obviously on here. I know he's not a magic artist.
Freddie Adu, you remember that?
Freddie, yeah, he's American. No one gives a shit about American soccer players.
Dude, he was the thing, man. He single-handedly made soccer more popular in the United States. And he's I actually read a really interesting profile on him at some point in the past couple months of where he's at now. He has tried 5 times to be a professional soccer player and had a lot of chances, and it just hasn't worked.
Because he's American.
Well, they also talked. No. Even in the United States, but they talked about how his because of the way he was kind of brought up as a prodigy or whatever, he lacked not necessarily work ethic, but just he never had to work for anything, so he never knew how to when he started playing against people as good or better than him, he just wasn't able to level up,
That
and maybe
happens.
if he had a different upbringing where he was worse, yeah, that's the reason that the younger brother of somebody is always better, right? Blake Griffin has
a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, Blake Griffin has a brother 3 years older than him who lasted 3 years in the NBA, and Blake Griffin has a 10+ year career. There's you can look at a whole bunch of people like that, right? There's because the younger brother grows up getting dominated by the older brother their entire life. So by the time
they learn
get
all
to
their
school,
tricks.
Right. And by the time they get to school, they're either better than other people or they're freshmen playing against seniors and they're not better or whatever, but they're used to playing against people better than them. And there's something to be said about that. Basically, you can't get away with bad habits when you're playing against people better than you.
Some people just can't make the jump. There's a guy on the Blackhawks farm team who's just dominating, and every time they bring him up, he's gotten 1 goal in 47 games. So some people can just dominate in the AHL and they make the jump to the NHL and they just can't hit the net.
It probably
for shit.
depends on what your skill set is, right?
I mean, there's some people in the league LCS that are like that too, where they're too good for academy but not good enough for the big leagues.
Yeah. Also, imagine that, if we're using Magic terms, imagine you're just one of the world's best limited players, right? But you're really good at limited and not constructed, and then the next player store doesn't have limited.
No, this is being really good at arena and then you can't play paper. It's
yeah, that might be similar.
Be the same deal, dude. And you're I can't with this. Misclick.
I just fumble all these cards and they fall over.
Control Z. Why? All right. Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
without further Freddie ado, let's play this game.
On to the game.
That was a great pun. You just steamrolled right over it.
That was a medium pun. All right. First one on the list. Radamel Falcao. Falcao? I don't know how to say European words. I'm guessing soccer player.
Soccer player.
Yeah.
Radamel Falcao. Okay. I don't know. And this is actually
if that was a magic artist, they would have abbreviated it to save people time.
Okay. It is a Colombian soccer player.
Okay.
What if one of these is
footballer who plays
You said he was European, so these aren't all European. This guy's from Colombia.
Well, he's nicknamed El Tigre or King of the Europa League.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means. He played. Like, I'll use these words that mean nothing to me.
I'm pretty sure it means the tiger.
He plays as a forward for Super League club Galatasaray.
Oh, let's butcher all this because there's going to be somebody that's got wearing Galatasaray.
DJ knows nothing about soccer, but he knows
they're trying to
like
turn off the podcast with their foam finger hand.
I don't know any of this. All right, next one up, Julie Barrow.
That's Magic.
Okay, I had no clue. It does seem to be an American fantasy artist. All right, next up is Lionel Messi.
Yeah,
that's a soccer player.
How about Pele? Is that a Magic artist?
I wouldn't have gotten this one. Y'all spoiled that. If you had just deadpanned Lionel Messi, I would have probably cost a coin.
Lionel Andres Messi Cuccittini is an Argentine professional footballer who plays as a forward and captains both
Isn't
Spanish
he the highest
Barcelona.
paid soccer player of all time?
I could not possibly tell you.
I think he is.
Let's Google Lionel Messi contract. Okay. In 2012, November 2017, he's getting paid at least $80 million a year.
Jesus.
That's a lot of money.
That's an entire hockey team. The salary cap for a hockey team is $80 million. So he gets paid as much as the entire New York Rangers.
He also has a lifetime deal with Adidas. Wait, didn't what's his name just get like a $400 million contract in hockey? And they sign Ovechkin to like a 18-year deal or something?
No,
right to his firstborn.
He's 38, so no, I don't think. I don't think a guy in his late 30s just signed an 18-year deal.
No, he did sign a $124 million deal for
10 years?
13. No, listen, Jason. For 13 years in 2008.
Yeah, the league did away with contracts like that because, like, the 13th year of the contract, he's going to make like $750,000 or something like that, and the first year he makes like $30 million.
No. It's legit. I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
it was $9 million
legit
10 years
too,
ago.
But like Kovalchuk's was a huge deal. And this was in 2008. He signed that.
Yeah, he's an unrestricted free agent a year from now.
Yeah, but he won a cup with.
I would assume he'll stay.
He's not going to go anywhere.
He's going to get the all-time goals record. So
this was all unusable.
Yeah, that's fine. Back to the game. Next up, Harry Kane. I'm going Magic artist.
Spell it. Last name?
Kane.
I'm going to go with footballer.
I'm going to say Magic artist.
All right, we got some disagreement here.
JJ, pull up a dinger, a counter. Sort of like...
Survey says Harry Kane is a soccer player.
Boom! Goal!
He is an English professional footballer who plays as a striker for the Premier League club Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, the Hotspur. Yeah. It's actually Tottenham.
Whatever, dude.
Tottenham Hotspur.
He's also the captain of the English national team, apparently. Sure. All right, next up, Kevin De Bruyne. They all sound like soccer players to me,
Magic artist.
No, this has got to be a soccer
Magic
player.
Artist.
It's a soccer player. A Belgian who plays for Manchester City.
They're good. They're good now, and I don't understand.
Who is? How do you know about soccer?
I know, because Manchester United was when I lived there. Manchester United
is Manchester City,
and Manchester City was dog shit, and now it's flipped, and I don't know. It's confusing to me. I realize it's been like 15 years, but still, some things should just stay the same, right?
Next up, David Monet,
Magic artist,
soccer player.
I'm gonna go with soccer player, just because like Monet sounds like an artist, so it's probably like a trick one. Let's find out.
Like Claude Monet. Damn, I saw one of those Monet paintings at the Louvre.
Oh wow. Okay, David Monet is a magic artist.
Okay.
Ooh.
He did the art for 2 cards in Mercadian Math.
Nice.
General's Regalia, which is a 3-mana rare artifact that you can pay 3, so the next time a source of your choice would deal damage, instead it's dealt to target creature you control. And he also did the art on the original Squee. Goblin.
Maybe you should go back to playing European soccer.
That's, good. That was a good one. I actually thought that was going to be a soccer player. All right.
Wow. Nice job.
Next up is Ryan Barger.
Brian or Ryan?
Ryan.
Because it matters.
I don't know why I asked.
Ryan paints cards, but Brian's definitely
magic.
a soccer
I'm going
player.
magic artist.
I'm going to go magic artist.
I'm going to go soccer player just because these stakes don't matter, and every time I bet a contrarian, I've been right.
Okay, let's see here. It's a magic artist. Oh, wow. This guy's probably somebody we should have heard of.
This is making Vorthos people really upset. And
I know, we're just destroying
for
somebody.
That.
Look, man, we are shouting out magic artists, okay? That's what we're doing. He did Aetherios, God of Passage. In addition to stuff like Turn Burn, Communion with Lava, Death Presence, let's see, what else? There's a bunch here. Loxodon Smiter, Gigantic Sliver, Phoenix, Rakdos Cackler, Remorseless Punishment, See the Unwritten, Stoke the Flames. Yeah, I don't think we have an excuse for not knowing this one. He did White of Precinct 6, which has been reprinted 5 times. So that's a pick.
I don't
so
look
that's
at
been
the
in front
art
of us.
I'm not a nerd.
I know, but like it's just funny because that card has been in front of all of us so many times in the past decade, and none of us have literally ever looked. Okay, next up, Thomas M. Baxa.
Oh, that's magic artist.
That's got to be magic artist.
I have like 5 cards in Gonti that are signed by him. So
oh, nice. It's the only one with the middle initial.
He did Skull Collector. He did. What else did he do in Gonti?
Well, the next one is also a magic artist, Stephen Belladin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that one we know. You can't. We're dumb, but we're not that dumb. All right, Ink Drop the Ooze. All right, next up, Marcus Reus, Reus. I'm going soccer player.
Soccer player.
I'm going to go magic artist. Because I would say soccer player just because I've never seen that name before.
You wrong. Well, yeah, he's a professional footballer who plays as an attacking midfielder or forward for Bo Russia. I'm from Oklahoma, so I call it Bo Russia.
It's Bo Russia.
It's literally B.O. Russia. Okay. He plays for Bo Russia Dortmund, where he is the captain.
Cool.
Sure. Don't know what a Bo Russia is, but whatever.
All right. Dang, what's a Bo Russia?
All right, Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Soccer
I'm going soccer. That is
magic artist.
I don't even look at magic cards, but if that name was on the card, my eyes would be drawn to it.
Yeah. He is a professional footballer.
All right.
Who played for Bayern Munich. Playing in exactly.
Munich. For Munich, Germany.
I can't turn it off, man. He played exactly 500 matches across all competitions and scored 68 goals. I have to say, I don't like this guy.
Did you say competitions?
No, but I don't like this guy already.
He said Munich. We don't have to make fun of him any more than that.
He retired with 68 career goals.
Not nice.
I agree. I don't like this guy.
That's not nice.
That's pretty shady, quite frankly. All right, next one is Eric Polak.
If he plays for a Polish soccer team.
No way. I'm going magic artist.
Magic artist.
I'll go soccer player just because.
It is a magic artist who has done the 3. Nice work on this list. Exactly 3 magic cards, according to Gatherer. Kitsune Loreweaver, the old fox cleric from Saviors of Kamigawa.
It's Kitsune, but okay.
Whatever, man.
Scourge!
You're getting Oklahoma pronunciations tonight, all right?
I know.
He also did Raving Oni Slave.
So just that block, it sounds like.
And he did Seek the Horizon.
Yeah.
Literally just that set, as it turned. No, just that block. That one's from Saviors.
This guy just searched by like the least
No, this is good. This is great.
The least number of cards.
I thought that was. I think I got that right. All right. Well, this is a nice name. Darberry Stenderu.
It's got Barry in it. It's soccer.
Soccer player. I would definitely know if there was somebody in Magic named Darberry, because that's a sweet name. I'm going soccer player.
I'm going Magic artist.
All right, I gotta try to find this here.
We've spent like more than half the podcast on this game, and
this is fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Holy crap!
It's a Magic artist.
Yeah, got it.
What the heck?
Y'all are scrubs.
I googled this person's name, old Darberry. And the first thing that came up is a bunch of articles about how the ex-wife of Nirvana's bassist is now married to one Darberry Stenderu. It has to be the same person, right?
Yeah, man. Like, if there's a second guy named Benedict Cumberbatch who, joins the SAG and, Benedict Cumberbatch has to go by his middle name, too, which is, Horatio or something, that would be amazing.
No, artist and designer, Darberry Stenderu. So, okay, Darberry Stenderu, fun fact, everybody, is married to the ex-wife of Nirvana's bassist.
That's the title of the episode, that full sentence.
All right, we got 3 more here. This is a soccer player. It has to be Jarreau Wimberly.
That's a soccer player.
Just because it's Wimberly?
No, well,
Wimberly is a very soccer name.
This is, I mean, we'll see here. Oh my god, we are horrible at this. It's a Magic artist.
Oh, what? This list had Lionel Messi on it, but it also had some stumpers, so I'll admit it.
It's a Magic artist. He did the art of Magma Spray in Shards of Alara, Sangreat Surge, and Sprouting Thrynax. So,
just those cards?
Yes, just according to Gatherer. So I have to say, this guy might be the most prolific 3-card artist in the history of the game.
Because they were all bangers, yeah.
I mean,
how many cards did Harold McNeil do? How many cards did Harold McNeil do?
I don't know who that is.
Invoke Prejudice, Sylvan Library.
That's the racist guy.
What's the third one?
Racist guy, man. Okay, real talk. I saw that guy on Facebook. He's legit crazy. I don't want to mess with that guy. He signs every post with his initials.
So does Tom Hanks, but Tom Hanks doesn't hate black people.
Yeah. Sprouting Thrynax is a cool card and cool art. Good for you, Jarreau Wimberly. Huh. I would have put
He just
all
sounds
my money
like
on
he
that being a
paints with his
soccer.
pinky out, doesn't he?
All right, so if Jarreau Wimberly was a Magic artist, John Terry has to be a soccer player.
I'm going to go Magic artist.
Soccer player. He put the most American John Smith name in there to throw us off.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But I think it's a soccer player.
John Terry is an English football coach and former player. He was previously the captain of Chelsea and Aston Villa. He's now the assistant head coach.
Emily will be caring about this because that's her family's team.
Chelsea
or Aston Villa?
Aston Villa.
Why do they have a team?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Why does your wife's family have a soccer team that is Aston Villa, 2 places? Whatever. I'd never heard of that.
I don't know.
Do they make Aston Martins there?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that just Villa? So it's just like a nice house in Aston? Is that where the team's located? I don't understand.
That's how words work, for sure.
I will forward these questions to the BSB intern, and then
You should.
She'll listen to this podcast on Friday, and then she'll yell at me when she gets home.
I got one.
Tell her to stop.
Ralph Horsley.
Soccer player.
Soccer player.
Magic artist.
What?
Magic artist painted Kamigawa grave robber, rag dealer? I don't know. I don't know what this card is called.
I'm going to do the last one on this list, and then I have a very important question to ask DJ. All right. In Oklahoma pronunciations, Rogerio Villela.
Soccer player.
Rogerio? I don't know. There's a thing on the E.
Soccer player, probably.
He's got to be a soccer player.
Magic artist. Did 11 cards in Invasion.
Are you kidding me?
What?
No, Jason. He did 2 cards in Weatherlight. The card Alms, which is a white 1-drop that, oh my god, you can exile the top card of your graveyard to prevent a damage. And the card Cinder Giant. During your upkeep, Cinder Giant deals 2 damage to each other creature you control. The 5/3 for 4 mana. An uncommon and Alms is a common. That's solid list. I was legit wrong on a lot of these.
This guy's dead now, right?
I don't know how this works. I don't want to say anything like mean about an artist who might be dead.
I'm not. How is saying he might be dead mean?
Yeah,
no. I don't want to like.
He's dead. He overdosed on some like quality party drugs, or like did too much E and didn't drink water. Like,
see, that was the kind of stuff I was trying not to say. Which the guy just like died of cancer and he died of corona.
Or they commit suicide and then their bassist like trades down.
Maybe that's how it works. I don't know. That was a good list. All right, Discord, nice work. I appreciate that list. That was good.
I thought I'd do better. I'll be honest.
I
saw Lionel Messi was on that list, and I was like, eat shit.
I thought surely I could recognize some European soccer names. Not that I like know anything about it. I just thought I would maybe recognize a Magic artist, and clearly not. Yes, a lot of people have done Magic art.
Yeah, but a lot of people did 2 cards.
Yeah,
I guess so. I didn't.
A lot of people were like, "Hey, you're a 19-year-old from Seattle."
I honestly didn't know that sometimes they only did 2 cards. I thought it was like a thing where you did dozens or 0. Who knew? So you're telling me there's probably more than 6 artists.
The people screaming at their car radio right now. All the Vorthos people that listen to this cast though, for some reason.
All right. I have to get to this question though.
And they're upset.
DJ, I want to clarify. Emily is doing some intern work on the podcast for us, which is great and very helpful and very nice. And you don't let her listen to the Patreon version of the podcast.
There's a lot of things I don't let her do.
All right, man. All right, everybody. If that is not an endorsement of how valuable the early access to the podcast is when it comes out.
What is she going to do with the early access?
Man.
Buy cards?
Dude, she's probably sitting in the other room, tapped into your computer right now, just wiretapping this call because she wants to cast a day early.
Or she can hear him.
Yeah.
Well, but she couldn't hear us, right? So she'd have to be wiretapping the call.
That's
big brain.
Do you think that is easier than going to patreon.com/brainstormbrewery and giving us $5 a month to have access to the spreadsheet?
Like, she has access to the Patreon password. She can listen to the cast early if she wants to.
All right.
And you can have, you can't listen to the cast early, but you can have access to the spreadsheet where we put our picks of the week and our Breaking Bulk picks in right away the night we podcast, which is Monday night usually. And you'll have days and days before everybody else who waits for the podcast to come out. So if you would like that kind of information instantly, consider being a patron at patreon.com/brainstormbrewery.
I guess we can do that. How about Breaking Bulk?
Oh, boy.
Breaking Bulk. Then we'll talk about the bands. Before we get to Breaking Bulk, though, I do want to shout out our sponsor, ChannelFireball.com, running an incredible buy list promotion all month. They're giving away a lot of goodies, including Black Lotus, Underground Seas, boxes, cases. All you have to do is go make a buy list order at Channel Fireball. Every $25 gets you an entry into these giveaways, which are going to be running all through March. So they sponsor this podcast. They help us out when we want to do events. They're extremely generous. Make sure to check out the website. Check out the promotion on the buy list. And if you like any of the cards we talked about this week, maybe look at them there.
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
Battle for Zendikar Mythic, go. You don't get the color because it's a mythic.
Are you sure we're not doing pick of the week right now, DJ? Do you not know how this game works? A mythic rare.
I pulled 10 of these out of bulk mythics today.
All right, hold up. This is gonna be stupid.
Is it because it's a bulk rare?
Is it a
Is it an ally?
Is it an inverter?
There's
of
one
truth?
mythic ally, so no.
Is it an inverter of truth?
No, because that card's from Oath of the Gatewatch, you dummy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got it next to the other crappy set.
Well, you also called it a bad card on this podcast, so.
The deck has a below 50% win rate, by the way. We'll get to that a little bit later, just for the record.
Yeah, if this deck were good, it would have gotten banned today when everything else did, so.
Exactly. Hold up. This has got to be stupid. Battle for Zendikar Mythic.
Yep.
That we might think is bulk, but
does it
isn't.
have landfall?
How much is the card worth?
It technically does not have landfall.
Oh my god. How much is the card
Is
worth?
it a token?
$3.30 market price.
How much?
$3.30 market price.
Okay, hold up. You said it technically doesn't have landfall.
Correct.
Is it the blue one that's good in Sire?
Sire what?
Sire
Not
Stagnation.
Sire of Stagnation. That's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
You
6
get those-
mana.
I was thinking of Insanity or
That's like
whatever
a
the black
that's like
one
a
is, but I
poor
knew it
man's
wasn't that.
Consecrated Sphinx. Who's bulking those out?
People who already have their Consecrated Sphinx and view the card as inferior.
Okay, man.
That's fair. I would, I always check mythics, but I
Always
wouldn't
take
have been able
$3 cards out of bulk, guys. Ooh, we did it.
If you had asked me that card,
Didn't you pick Mystic or Mora last week, Jason?
I gave a real pick, but I happened to find 106 Mystic Remoras. What of it?
Okay.
Wasn't the real pick one that had been mine 3 weeks earlier, though?
Look, man, nobody's perfect at this game. I'm not on trial here. DJ is.
Okay, you're right. Well, I actually would not have guessed that card was... I knew it wasn't bulk, but I didn't know it was...
I didn't know it was breaking bulk because I knew that was a $3 card.
Yeah, I know. It's blue-black, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that card is kind of sweet.
And it is
Opponents are playing
it is a
lands or
mill
whatever.
card, so again, Emily listening to this podcast will be content, I guess. But whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player exiles the top 2 cards of his or her library, and you draw 2 cards. And it's a 5/7 with Devoid that goes in all the Phoenix decks. It goes in all the mill commander decks, the Onas and the whatnots, and it's just
The Onas?
yeah, like the Ona commander decks, the mill fairy.
Ona, Quan of the Fi. You know, Ona.
It's... No, okay.
She's the
Jason-
Quine of all the fires.
What Jason is
Ona.
trying to say is that you're missing a letter there, DJ. It's Una.
Una.
O-O-N-A.
Ooh. No.
How many soccer players did you pronounce correctly again?
Oh, look, man. I understand. I can commiserate 1,000%.
Commiserate.
Corbin, it's Munich.
This could also be...
O's.
I'm just putting this on the list. See what Discord thinks of this one. Is the old magic spelling bee. Like, can you spell Catoblepus?
Is that how you pronounce that?
It is a blight breath Catoblepus. Or bad breath cow. But, what about ichthyomorphosis? Can you spell that one for me? All right.
Porcelain Legionnaire is one that always me.
Porcelain Legionnaire? Because
Yeah.
there's 2 N's?
2
in
N's.
Legionnaire? Is that the problem?
I mean, there's like porcelain is also a tricky one.
Is
How do
it?
how do you spell porcelain, Corbin?
Well, I just typed it in. I knew how to spell it. It's Porcelain.
Celain.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the quickest way to figure out if I knew it was, and I realized if I just type it into Google, it's either going to tell me I'm right or ask me if I meant something else.
Porsulin. Porcelain.
I was a geography bee champion in grade school, guys, not a spelling bee champion, so... But I do type a lot of card names.
You were a geography. I'm sorry, we can't accept Munich. All right.
I almost spelled ichthyomorphosis right on my first try.
I have a gold card from Dominaria that I get in bulk, and it is very not bulk.
All right, a gold card from Dominaria. That is what rarity?
Uncommon.
Raf Capuchin.
It is worth $2.
Tatiova.
Tatiova Benthic Druid.
I just tend to pick cards that are already on the sheet because I know Jason picked them. So, because Jason, you did pick this one as early as 2020.
I picked it this year.
Not even 2 months ago, bro.
Oh, good.
Can you really plagiarize from yourself, though?
Great minds think alike, and my mind thinks like my mind. I can't help it.
That's funny. Sometimes. Oh, well, wait. That means Jason called me a great. All right, I'm in. You got another one, or should I jump in?
Well,
here?
for the sheet, yeah.
All right, I've got two.
Ghostly Flicker. Put Ghostly Flicker on the sheet.
Sure.
Because that's more than it should be. I almost picked Ghostly Flicker, but I'm like, dude, I can't believe this card is $2. And I still can't believe. And you know what? That's what happens when you drink, when you podcast. You get to time travel back to a time before you picked it, and then you get to steal a pick from yourself. That's how it works.
All right. I'm going to jump in here. I also have a rare, although it's not quite as lame as DJ's. A Lorwyn rare that was reprinted.
That's a forbidden set and a forbidden rarity.
It was reprinted as an uncommon in Modern Masters 2015.
Incandescent Soulstoke.
In Soulstoke.
It is Incandescent Soulstoke. Why is this... For those who don't know, this card's actually... It was bulk after the reprint. This is why I think it's a good one, because it was printed at uncommon and was, 30, 40, 50 cents. Not really a pick.
Before. Maybe not recently, but it's definitely been picked before.
Well, yeah, it started climbing
what year?
About 6 months ago.
I'm investigating.
But it's still climbing is what the reason I call attention to it. Like, this card is heading towards $2.
Because it gets played in elemental decks, and elementals decks came out when 2020 when Omnath.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. That's absolutely right. That's a sweet one.
I picked this in December of 2018, good sir.
2018. When the card was actually worth nothing?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, December of 2018, you say?
Yes.
When the card was 50 cents. And
so it was really breaking bulk.
So you're going to pick it after it goes up, Corbin? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, it's a good one. It's going up right now. So this is a great one if you have Modern Masters. No, because it's like $1.50. It'll probably be $2 or $2.50 or whatever, right? I don't know. You can pick of the week it if you want it, but you might also just go look through your Modern Masters bulk, see if you have any. I think I probably certainly do, as a matter of fact. All right, I got a little bonus one for you.
I'm just looking at the 2018 pick of the week sheet and looking at all the none, no Corbin, none, milk hangover, are you surprised, none, blank. Busy playing Scrabble, XXX, Millipedes. Like, Corbin's breaking bulk sheet has like 8 cards on it for 2018.
Dude,
and it hasn't improved much since then.
Oh, yes, dude. I have a pick every week. I put Jason's picks in nowadays because he doesn't bother, and you won't do it for him. I'm a bro on the spreadsheet these days. But I want to point out something. Do you guys remember that traumatizing millipede incident?
You mean when you thought it was an earwig was a millipede?
Yeah, man. I was terrified.
A
I was
garden
thinking I was about
earwig.
to die. I thought I was about to die to like an army of invading millipedes. And then you try to come in here with an earwig. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, millipedes are careful. They're venomous. And you're like, oh, it's venomous.
Yeah, dude.
So I think JJ has to have the audio for that, right? Or somebody does? Maybe your old editor does?
I don't know how long. JJ's pretty old. He's like Jason Boomer age. So like he might have been editing this podcast for the past decade at this point. I don't really remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. All right. I got a bonus pick of the week for y'all anyways. An Avacyn Restored Rare that was reprinted in a Modern Masters set.
At the same rarity?
Yes.
Dead-Eye Navigator.
No.
But that
it is a card that one might say should not be bulk and is occasionally not bulk, like right now. But it'll be bulk again tomorrow. The answer is Splinter Twin, everybody. And the real answer, this is a joke. There are people out there.
Jokes are funny.
Wait. I want to credit the guy who replied to my tweet earlier.
Who is this?
at Peach Garden Oaf, OAF,
Okay.
which is a fire Twitter name in general.
I agree.
But,
I'm on board.
This sounds like Twinsider trading, Corbin.
Twinsider. So for those who don't know, Splinter Twin,
Fire.
Wizards announced that is great actually. Shout out to that guy. Wizards announced last week that they were going to do something. What they actually did was ban Underworld Breach in Legacy because that card is very stupid, and they banned Once Upon a Time in Modern. And I gotta say, as somebody who went and got and tracked down like 4 extended art foil Once Upon a Times for my sweet casual Emrakul brew in Modern, and as someone who had foiled out Masterpiece Stout Lantern Control, it's been a rough couple months.
Maybe I don't do that.
My Once Upon a Times are mostly dead. My Masterpiece Mox Opals are pretty dead. They're just destroying all my decks. I had the most fair use of Once Upon a Time. But anyways, I mean, look, the reality is that the card was absurd in Modern. We all knew it. Frankly, I think they should have banned it months ago. But,
I think they should have not printed it, personally.
well, yeah, yes. Remember that? What a set, man. Just
I'm
like,
updating my cube for the first time in a year, and there's just like, oh man, this Ravnica Allegiance card looks pretty good. Oh, but it was made obsolete by another card 2 sets later.
it's just, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's just a set that's going to go down in history at this point, right?
Imagine having
Like,
the
it's
best
Zendikar.
card game ever and not knowing what you're doing. Like, how do those two things...
This is World Wake, Zendikar World Wake, or Mirrodin Block all over again. Or Kaladesh, right? Those are the 3, at least that I can recall. I guess I wasn't around for Combo Winter or whatever, right? And I don't even know what the formats were then. But like, Mirrodin, Kaladesh, World Wake. Those are the worst, like,
I don't
sort
even know
of
if World Wake
sagas.
counts. Like,
Yeah.
World Wake was egregious in like a small concentration of cards, right? It
Did
was
you
like,
say egregious?
Yeah, he did, man.
I heard it.
sure.
The Discord pointed it out earlier. They love it.
What
Keep
does he
doing
say?
it.
Does he say
Get 'em.
egregious a lot?
Dude, look, people only thought Marcel was gone from this podcast. I actually
Come
want
back,
somebody
Mr.
to go find
Targomoyf.
the old best Marcellisms and put them up to. I think DJ could go toe to toe. That's all I'm saying. I love it. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with Eldraine. I would love to hear like the real story behind it.
We
one
wanted
day.
to sell a lot of booster packs, so we put really boosted cards in there.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. They tell me that's not what's happening, right? Like, I actually talk to people from Wizards who I don't think are lying to me, and they say that like, no, this was a design decision. Oko was a design decision, not like a marketing forcing us to sell booster packs or whatever, right? Like, they just literally made these mistakes all at once.
Jesus.
Oopsie boosty.
Oopsie. Yeah, it's something. It's been quite the year.
Dear Wizards of the Coast,
or was quite the year for
if
Magic.
you are going to make a card that you can cast without having to pay any mana for it, don't make
I-
the card that costs 0 mana.
And look, one day I know fresh new designer in the year 2022, which is, as I believe Jason says, is 6 years from now when we all die in the climate apocalypse. 4 years from now in the year
48
2022,
months.
new Wizards designer.
Yeah,
It's in
48
48 months.
48 months. When you're listening, when you're hearing this advice, you're going to think, oh, but they all sucked. I'm good at this. I'm going to do it right this time. Well, you're not.
I won the Great Design Search. I realized that a 4/4 flying
Yeah, I was the
Vigilance was
Golgari
green
Sarah
black.
Angel.
Now I'm going to print.
My
Oko.
0 mana spell will be different.
Yeah, my 0 mana spell is the one that
You
is
can
a good-
only play it if you have 6 cards in hand.
I printed Mox Amber. What could possibly go wrong? This is an incredibly fair. Oh, we printed Kethis. Oh, that one's broken too. Come on.
Mox
Mox
Tantalite will be
Tantalite?
broken
Yeah, you just
someday.
wait. You just wait. It's gonna happen. Okay, we used to say Mox Amber, there was no way. The card wasn't even out of standard before it was a broken combo deck. Like, come on. Modern playable combo deck. Anyways, all right, moving on. Yeah, I mean, look. So the thing is with Legacy and Modern, this I'll get to this a little bit in my pick of the week later, but this hurts Primeval Titan decks in Modern. I guess in theory it hurts some of the like Heliod Company decks, that sort of thing. But what it nerfs Tron a little bit. There was a fair amount of Tron players who were playing the card. But really it nerfs the Primeval Titan decks. This is huge. Those decks already had, those decks were absurd, you know, with Arboreal Grazers and into Castle Garenbriggs and another broken Eldraine card into their Titans. Modern, those decks were just absurd. So this, I think, probably gives an immediate boost to something fair like Jund, or something like Mono Red Prowess, which is sort of the under the radar deck that's quietly one of the better decks in Modern. It probably helps that it's on the less expensive end, right? So people aren't just more people are able to play, but the deck's actually very good. It's just mono red now, and is very fast. And the reason it exists is because it was fast enough to race those Primeval Titan decks and those Tron decks when they had access to Once Upon a Time. So with Once Upon a Time gone, that seems like a deck that's sort of naturally going to emerge as a winner. So that's where I'm looking. Look, I'm be honest about Legacy. I don't know what's going to happen in Legacy. I don't know much about Legacy. I guess now Renin 6 and Underworld Breach are banned.
Wait, what?
That only leaves Teferi and Narset to break the... I don't know. I don't care about Legacy.
Well, I was on a Legacy podcast tonight.
What do they have to say about it?
They said Scroll of Fate is a pickup.
Scroll of Fate?
Scroll of Fate. You manifest a card directly from your hand. So, hey, there's a bonus pick of the week for you. Scroll of Fate is
Sure,
a Legacy card in... I guess you...
Commander 2019.
Well, yeah, you throw down a manifested Dreadnought from your hand, and then you flip it over for a mana, and you get 12/12.
That can't be good. Scroll of Fate costs 3 mana.
Yeah,
I'm also reading it for the first time ever right now.
But you can manifest garbage from your hand too, right? Like you can turn your lands into attackers and blockers. So like, Scroll of
but
Fate.
your opponent could just play like Teferi.
I really don't understand why people think they have a thought off the top of their head that didn't occur to an expert. You're gonna say to some people from a Legacy podcast something about Legacy that didn't occur to them. Like, I don't know why people do that.
Do what? Play the role of the everyman to seek answers for the questions that every person immediately has?
It's like, yeah, you say that coronavirus has a 2% lethality rate, but like, what about all the people that just don't report it because they don't really feel that sick? So therefore, I'm like, oh, okay, so you thought of some shit the CDC didn't? Get out of here. Like, can we all stop acting like our dumbass layman brains are gonna like pop something up off the top of the head that like didn't occur to an expert? Man,
Jason,
can we stop?
Have you considered it might be more efficient if you loaded the airplane from the back to the front?
I hadn't.
Have you ever even thought about that? Okay, mind blown. Come on, man.
That's just something poor people say.
It is pretty funny, actually. Well, that's cool. I mean, I guess that's interesting. Is that the use with Scroll of Fate, or are you supposed to like flicker an Emrakul or something?
There's all kind of stuff you can probably do with it, but like Scroll of Fate cheats, and like no one really cares that much in EDH. It's a bulk rare right now, but who knows, man? The farther away we move from its Commander 2019 printing, the more chance it has to get there, because nobody's building Kadena decks because they suck.
Okay, I'll buy that. Well, let's go ahead and jump right on into Pick of the Week then.
Pick of the Week, Pick of the Week, Pick of the Week. Time for the Pick of the Week.
I'll jump in there. I've got one that I like, speaking of Mono Red Prowess a little bit. Bedlam Reveler it's a card that has gone through a lot of different sort of price fluctuations. But right now, it's on the upswing. It had dropped really low. You know, Pioneer got announced. Do what?
It's a pet card of mine. I like that card.
Yeah, the card is awesome.
I don't want to cut it from Cube because I have like a German foil.
Oh, that's pretty hot. Yeah, I mean, the card had bottomed out a lot with Pioneer and with Primeval Titan decks taking over in Modern, et cetera, et cetera. But you can still get them for about $4, where it sort of bottomed out around $3. But the card at one point in the past was like $10. It's from Eldritch Moon, which is basically forever ago. And it is a 3 to a 4 of in mono red prowess among other decks. I mean, who knows? Maybe we're going to see the resurgence of Mardu Pyromancers now that they're trying to ban some of the broken stuff. Who knows? But mono red prowess at a minimum is likely to have a very good next couple of weeks. And Bedlam Revelers, probably climbing from 4 to 7 or 8, I think, given that. So it's
You
got
think
a lot of
it'll
room to
double
go.
on the bait? All right, man, that's ballsy, but
Well, look, the card has been climbing from 3 over the past 2 months or so. It's up to about 4, almost 450, right? So it's been climbing some, and we've seen it hit $10 before. Like, it had a first spike. So we're looking at a second spike here where, most of the copies are going to be concentrated in the hands of dealers, not players. And like I said, it's in a fairly reasonable mono red prowess deck, which we've seen those kind of cheap modern decks for the past decade produce some tremendously expensive cards if that one card is the only thing you really need that's expensive for the deck. See Affinity and its Mox Opals. So, yeah, man, I think that there's actually a lot of room to grow here for Bedlam Reveler.
I'd be
What do you
content
guys
if
got?
that was true. I have another wacky DJ pick in that I am picking the C version of Ineffable Blessing from Unstable.
You're going to have to explain that one to people.
So, Unstable cards, some of them have variants where you can get 6 different versions, up to 6 different versions of any particular card. Like, Very Cryptic Command has 5 or 6 different versions of that card, all but one of which have the same artwork, and all of which have different effects. Some of these cards have different art, like whatever the Ravnica like one, it's like a puppet or whatever, where it shows like 4 different like acts of a play or something like that.
I'll believe you.
There's like the Very Slow Zombie where there's 4 different arts doing 4 different seasons or whatever. Ineffable Blessing is one where it's a green enchantment for 2 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you choose X or Y. They all have very different effects where it's like choose flavorful or bland or like white or like, and one of them, the particular one I'm picking is the C version, which is you pick white border or silver border, and then it's whenever the chosen border comes into play under your side of the under your side, you draw a card. So you pick silver border, and then you draw more cards, and there's a certain silver border product that just came out.
That's true. And as a matter of fact, not for nothing, of this card, MTG Stock says there are 6 versions of it. There's 2 that are above 3, and the others are all $1 to $2. But this is the most expensive at $350.
Right, because
So,
it's the one that's
it already
most,
had something.
Like it's the one that if you are playing it with other
Right.
silver border cards, it's like a 2 mana. What's the card?
Yep.
The green enchantment from Ravnica Allegiance that just went up. Guardian Pact or
Guardian
whatever?
Project.
Guardian Project, yeah. It's
Uh-huh.
it's a 2 mana Guardian Project where it's just whenever you play a creature, you draw a card. So it is.
Yeah, no, I actually like this pick a lot on the couch. Because also the thing is, with 6 versions of, I don't know how this worked for sure, right? But there's 6 versions of the card at rare. Does that mean there's 6 different rare? Like, does that take 6 rare
the rarity
spots?
is diluted among them, yes. So you have a 1 in 6 version, or you have a 1 in 6 chance of opening the one you want.
Okay, but do they take 6 different rare slots in the set? Or is it 1 rare slot, and then in that rare slot there's 6 different versions? Does that make sense? Like, how many... Are there fewer rare, differently named rares in the set because 6 versions of this exist?
No.
Okay, so then yes, the rarity of it is going to be diluted. So yeah.
Because they all have the same set, like they all have the same set number.
Right.
Which is
Okay,
why,
so yeah,
which is
I'm with
why
you.
they have to break it up in like A, B, C, D garbage instead of saying
Right.
like.
Yep.
It's
So
funny.
what do you think? What do you think happens? I mean, is this $10? Is it $5? Is it $20 because they let you play with silver border cards and Commander? Like, what's going to happen here?
I mean, I think it's like 5 or 6, but it's also just a card that if it's one of those, if you are looking to play with this effect, or if your play group allows these kinds of effects, it is not a card that will ever be reprinted anytime soon.
True.
So it's just one of those.
Very true.
While the hype is high, if you're gonna play with some silver border stuff in Commander, I think you pick one of these up. I don't think that it's a card where you want to buy like 10 or 15 copies at $350. It's a card where like you dig it out of your binder, or you just make sure you become aware and you bring all of the copies that you own under your control, and then you just like list them all on TCG for $4.99, and you hope something happens.
All right. Well, that sounds like a pretty good one. Jason, did you get in on the pick of the week?
No, man. I had a bonus pick of the week with Scroll of Fate, but I have an actual pick of my own, which is Mind's Dilation.
That card is insane.
It's quite good.
That's another card that I always have to do a double take when I spell it.
Dilation?
I always think it's dilation, but it's dilation.
Now, this card's actually spelled exactly like it sounds. This card is great. 7 mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, they exile the top card of their library. If it's a non-land, you can play for free. This has actually become one of my like go-to win conditions in almost every blue deck I have.
It's quite good, and I like it because no matter what kind of group you're playing against, you're going to hit them with a card they can handle. You know, so if it's like a super like a cutthroat deck, you're going to get a cutthroat card, and if it's a casual deck, you're going to get a casual card, and it's just I like using my opponent's cards against them because they got no excuse.
And you get so many out of it. I mean, it's one of those the sweet thing about this card and Lurking Predators is kind of what I would compare it to, is that they're expensive do nothing enchantments, and since they don't do anything when you play them, but you almost always get a card back out of people answering it. You know, if they don't have an answer to Mind's Dilation, but they have another play for their turn, they're going to make their other play, and they're just going to roll the dice on you revealing a land to Mind's Dilation, right? Mm-hmm. But they're not going to stop playing because you played this spell. But the reality is, they're not always going to hit lands. You know, it can both be the correct decision for them to play into your Mind's Dilation, and also obviously good for you, right? It's just correct for both players. So that's what I love about the card is it's threatening, and it usually doesn't last very long, but it's not, you know, the cards I most recently replaced it is I replaced Sanguine Bond Exquisite Blood in my Oloro deck, because I'd always have one of those two in hand, play it, and immediately get targeted. Even if I never had the other one, or I'm never going to combo off. I'm never actually going to put together the combo. The card would just either get me killed or be dead in my hand because I didn't want to play it. I cut it for Mind's Dilation, and Mind's Dilation, it's like they kill Mind's Dilation, they don't kill you. So, and a lot of times they don't even kill it. So I love this card as a pick because of the play patterns it has. More than anything.
This is a card that I want other people to play in all of their blue decks so I can take it with Gonti, because it does Gonti things.
It's also a mythic, so that helps quite a bit. Out of a very expensive set, Eldritch Moon, so a lot of good cards in that set. Good pick. All right, anything else you guys want to touch on before we get out of here this week?
JJ, keep that yawn in.
I'm going to take that yawn as a no.
It's very late.
Yep. All right, here we go. All right, everybody. So thank you for listening. Thank you for... I hope if you're playing along at home, you did slightly better than us in the soccer player or Magic artist game. But this is Brainstorm Brewery. I'm Corbin Hostler for Jason and DJ. Thank you for listening. Thank you for checking out our sponsor, Channel Fireball. Thank you to them for sponsoring this podcast. We'll see you next week.